Hello, everybody. I am Mitchell, and welcome back to the Adventures of the Multiverse podcast. This is the 30th video anniversary special. I don't know if I could really call it that because it's me by my lonesome monologuing to you guys for a little bit. That's right. No Reichland, no Liam, no Morgan, no Jasmine, no Karina, no Riley, no Alicia, no. Bree. I think that's everyone. Did I say Jasmine? I think I did. Just me by my lonesome, monologuing into a microphone. Um, I wanted this 30th anniversary video not to be. Well, I mean, the 10th one was sort of a bit of like exploring the past, the present, the future. The 20th anniversary was us playing Betrayal of Baldur's Gate for the first time chronologically, but it's the second time I've actually played on the channel. And this one is going to be just a bit as we head a bit further off into the year and celebrate 6 months on the channel. It's quite a bit of an achievement, really, that we've done this. Um, in fact, it's quite an achievement that we've got started at all. Since we recorded that first test pilot back in February, soon after my birthday, I believe it was, um, and then actually properly starting in June of this year. Yeah, I don't know. It's like I said in one of the other videos. I think it's the 10th one. I don't feel as though we've made it yet. Obviously, as a podcast as of now, we've only got 8 subscribers. We haven't even hit 30 videos on YouTube, but it feels like we're going somewhere. It feels like we're going places. But as we head into the well, I'm recording this in November. I forgot to do the timestamp. It's the 1st of the 11th, 2024. And that's right, the day after Halloween, spooky. And I don't know. I just want to, call up just to chat for a little bit as we head into the New Year's thing. Um, I put on the Twitter, yes, we do have a Twitter, link is in the description below. About a while ago about how we have two new Zombicide videos already in the can and ready to go out. Those are going to be feature length episodes, rather exciting, I think. Um, yep, they're just going to be out for free for you guys to listen to next week and the week after. Or by the time this video goes out, those videos might actually be out. In fact, this one, if I'm thinking right, might actually go out alongside um that second one. But Zombicide. So I want to talk a little bit about Zombicide before we start talking about the seasonal stuff. Zombicide has been a little bit of a hit on our channel. It's a bit up and down. Some videos perform better than others. That's only to be expected. But I was happy to sort of commission isn't really the right word, but I was happy to have like another series running alongside the D&D and Pandemic Legacy because we have Dungeons of Drakenheim one week and then we have Pandemic on the second week and then we sort of alternate between those weeks. I was happy to have like a recurring constant between those ones, not to really help bridge the gap, but to try and keep in line some sort of continuity and just to try and help pad out um the time of the channel, give you guys a bit more content. And I'm more than happy to keep recording those episodes, but as of current, I think we only managed to record. I think it was I could get the stats up for you guys here. We recorded 7 episodes over the course of I think like 2 weeks. Um, and don't get me wrong, Zombicide has been an absolute blast. It's so like we hit that bit of a trifecta almost, where 1 week we get the longer Dungeons of Drakkenheim episode for D&D, and then the week after we get the sort of slower board game or Pandemic Legacy. And sort of in between that, we have the board game on Zombicide, which can be slow, it can be fast. Um, and the times on that really vary. Like there are times I think it was, when I really had to pad out that runtime to get to the hour mark. And then we got the new ones coming out next week and the week after, where they're 2 hour full length like feature movies on their own. It's yeah, I don't know. I sort of like having that on the channel where you never know if 1 week you're going to get like a one where we win the mission where we're gonna absolutely smash the zombies straight up, or if we're going to sort of get our asses handed to us. Um, there are people outside my apartment, and yeah, I like having Zombicide on the sort of not really the down way. It's going up weekly. At this rate, it's got probably I reckon the videos on Zombicide are actually going to overtake both other series pretty soon. If you guys are happy to see more, please, 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 please do let me know. Honestly, you do not know how much it helps by sharing this podcast. Um, I took a look at analytics a few minutes before recording this. We've had over like 20,000 impressions for the channel. That means that that's the amount of times that our thumbnail has appeared in people's like searches, or even just our homepage and whatnot, which is an absolutely like massive now. The most recent, oh shit, I just fucking jump scared myself. But our most recent one, the Halloween special, and Ragnar fucking dies on Zombicide. I can't remember what that episode was. I think that might be episode 5. Has produced our biggest like sort of hits yet. We've had over, I think it was something like 6,000 impressions on that one, for that one day, which is an insane amount for a channel that hasn't had a video break over 100 views yet. Um, but it is like seeing the fruits of my labor a little bit almost, when I upload these videos to the channel, and not everyone is a smash hit. I did expect the Halloween special to be, to sort of break viewer records on our channel, but it's on track to becoming one of our more viewed one. It's Yeah, I guess we're still in that turbulent time in our um sort of channel at the moment, where it's like, we're still trying to figure things out. Um, I don't know if we'll be continuing on with the legacy board games after this. I know I said so many times with the Pandemic Legacy podcast, that when we finish season 1, we're gonna jump straight into Betrayal Legacy. We're gonna do a podcast of that for a little while, but I'm just gonna be honest here. Like the Legacy hasn't been getting a lot of views. I do love board games. I do love it. However, they people don't really tune into our channel to listen to Pandemic Legacy, which is um completely understandable. I imagine that there are better channels out there that sort of handle that aspect better. I don't know if maybe it's that edgier sort of content to do with it. I don't know if maybe um it's not having the podcast format where you can't actually see the board. Um, Maybe it's just already been done plenty of times. People already know what to expect. But at the moment, like I'm not considering cutting it all together. But I am thinking of either not doing Betrayal Legacy straight after Pandemic, or just sort of to trying something else. We're sort of scrapping it all together because it's not getting us a sort of channel. You guys aren't really tuning into it, so it's sort of like, why would we keep sort of making this when it's not really? pulling massive numbers. And to be fair, our Does a Drakenheim podcast isn't doing that either. Um, it's not getting insane views, but it's at least semi more consistent than Pandemic. I don't know. Maybe I'll change my mind again. Maybe we'll get to the end of our recording block for Legacy Season 1 and things will change around. Heading into the seasonal stuff, so I did mention our Halloween special earlier. I think I have already mentioned this somewhere in the channel before. But we do have a Christmas and New Year's special planned. It's a two-parter, so obviously the Christmas episode will go up on Christmas Day or the day closest to Christmas Day when it's that recording. When it's that time to upload. So if I look over the calendar, so so I'll probably be looking at uploading that either Christmas Day or Boxing Day in Australia, Eastern Standard Time in Victoria. And obviously the New Year's special will go up on either New Year's Day or the day after New Year's Day. That's rather exciting. I like that, I sort of recorded these ahead of time. I think we were recording those earlier, like in September, I think it was. I was just glad that we managed to get those recording already because they're a bit of fun. You also notice that with the Halloween special, it did overtake the regular Dungeons of Drakenheim one. Do not panic, Dungeons of Drakenheim will be up again next week, followed by Pandemic afterwards. I just didn't, along with Zombicide, it didn't feel natural to upload both Zombicide and then DoD and then the Halloween special. I think it might have been too much content at once, so I just decided to just sort of placate that by 1 week, which does mean that by the Christmas, New Year's stuff in December, means that we'll be missing out on DoD and Pandemic Legacy by a week or two. But yeah, we got plenty of content to sift through. I mean, by this point, I'm making this for like 30 videos. Even if every video is over an hour, which we have our Dungeons & Dragonheim podcast was go on for like 2.5 hours consistently. I think our longest one was close to 3 hours, clocking in at 2 hours and 40 something minutes. Even if you were to sit through all the Zombicide, Pandemic Legacy, the specials, Betrayal D&D, and whatnot, it was still clocking at about like well over about 40 hours, I would think. So that's still a lot of content to go through. Plus, I think it'd be good to sort of give that sort of regular recording a break, give us a bit of time to record more stuff in between that period. When we recorded DoD last week, I did make note of that as well, that it was going to go up, I think, by January of next year. So where's that? If I look for DoD, I think it was episode 13. So episode 9 is going to go up next week. So yeah, that's about like another 2 months being elongated, obviously, because of the specials. So we might not get to see DoD 13 until like towards the back end of January, which is sort of crazy to think about. We have all this sort of stuff backlogged, and Pandemic, I think, is like even longer. Because was that episode 6 of that went out on the 23rd of this month. Oh, sorry, the 23rd of last month. And we're up to episode 14 of that. So yeah, there's 8 episodes. That's more. We have more episodes currently banked on Pandemic Legacy that are currently uploaded to the show with another 8 episodes. That's, even if that's got off by the margins, that's 2 episodes a month. That's enough to carry us till February of next year. Not including the time skipping from that sort of seasonal stuff. Plus it being, oh my god, it's just the whole schedule is just a wreck at the moment. I should come up with like a sort of calendar just for like a very rough uploading schedule for these. Hey. But as we, yeah, so that's just the sort of seasonal stuff that yeah, I'm just really looking forward to getting over. So we will be uploading over the new year. It will be, it won't be unimpeded. We'll just have to push stuff back to allow space for the seasonal uploads plus Zombicide if we do record more Zombicide between now and then. Um, and yeah, hopefully we have enough to baked up throughout January, so that way, we'll be able to get straight back into January, just keep recording stuff to sort of make stuff up. Um, I did float the idea with Racklin. It was Racklin's idea to do this actually, where because we do have so many episodes banked up, where he floated the idea of if we have enough episodes banked up or something, we could sort of just upload stuff more regularly. For that'll be a case of Pandemic Legacy where we have 8 episodes banked already, and then going into next week and the week after, we just got to keep banking and banking and banking until I think we're gonna have stuff to go through like till March or April next year for sure, which is it's sort of crazy to think about that we're gonna have stuff banked up for that long. And he said the idea of if we are gonna have that much stuff banked up, as well as recording new stuff, we're gonna be well ahead of our schedule. So we could upload stuff to the channel a bit more regularly, whereas rather than uploading Pandemic to the channel once a fortnight, we could do it once a week, or even if we are stuck for a bit of content, we could even do it 2 times a week to sort of fill in for Zombicide. Which, to be fair, is not the worst idea in the world. By the time we start recording, by the time we do start recording the new Legacy, if we do get to that, and we want it to be up on the channel sooner, because otherwise we're gonna have stuff banked up till April next year, and that means that we'll be recording stuff that won't go up until May. That's in December from the sounds of it. So yeah, it's a bit of a hard one. I did like the idea of because we do all this stuff in advance. What I was thinking of doing is uploading it all to the Patreon and making it all Patreon exclusive. So you guys can see everything that we have banked up before time. That'll give people incentive to go to the Patreon to watch the stuff there. I think the only things I would not put on there for people to watch, maybe except for like a really high tier, would be the seasonal stuff. So, you'll be able to listen to the Christmas and New Year's stuff ahead of time. You'll be able to listen to, that'll be the same for like any other like big major events around that time. Like further afield, so that'd be like Easter, that really springs to mind. I don't know if we should do like an Easter special. I don't know what we would really do for that. But just like events of the world. We could do like a Christmas in July thing. Um, I don't know. There's plenty of like holidays, seasonal holidays to choose from that we can sort of exploit. You guys can't see it, but I'm rubbing my hands together behind the scenes. But that's all up in the air as well. Plus, there's got to be a bit of a hassle to go through like all those videos, make sure that they're all uploaded. I don't imagine it would be quite the content overload, because it means that we'll be uploading like the next 5 episodes of Pandemic, next 8 episodes of first 5 episodes of Dungeons, next 8 episodes of Pandemic. We'll be uploading all the seasonal stuff ahead of time, all the Zombicide stuff. We got Betrayal D&D episodes that I have just in case. I've only got one of them. I was even toying with the idea of uploading the Civilization, like a Civ 6 episode to the channel, since I've one of those with Ryclon. But that one I'm not so sure about if I should upload that to here or to my other channel. I think it might be more appreciated in my other one, but that's what it's all about. Hey, just trying, branching out, trying different stuff. Not all of it's gonna work out. We could see that on the um we could already see on the channel that not everything is working as the plan. But it's about trying, it's about actually making the effort. And that's what I really like. Yeah, obviously some episodes are better than others on here. I can admit. Not as if, yeah, obviously I do probably phone in a bit of them. Um but sorry, another vehicle. But it's moreover like we just sort of have episodes of D&D where we don't really do a lot. I think some of them you could really cut them down to like half an hour, if even that, and you probably get the same amount as actual D&D content. But it's about trying. It's about making that effort. And that's in the end, that's all that's really up on this channel. I've probably had a few laughs when you listen to our shenanigans and our failures. I hope you've had, maybe cried with us a few times when we lost some characters. Reichland didn't actually die, by the way. I just gunned him down in that episode because he dicked us over. But in the end, it's about spending time with the rest of the gang and just having a bit of fun. I do like a serious story, but I do also like that, I get to have the chance to tell a story, like an engaging story, I hope, for what little we do partake of it. But in the future, I don't really know where we're going to go with the podcast. Obviously, I do see a future in us uploading continually to the channel. Um, I'm not willing to give up on it quite yet. Like, not that I am in the thoughts of giving up. It's more of, I think, we sort of are hitting that point now where we are hitting 6 months, and we haven't really grown a lot as a channel. Like, at this rate, we'll probably be lucky if we hit 10 subscribers before the end of the year. It's just really hard to sort of push a channel and advertise beyond word of mouth. I know Reikland's gone and showed off the podcast to a few of his friends, and I'm sure a few other people that that I'm talking about this with have also, with that D&D group, I've also said something. It's just a bit hard because there's no actual dedicated space for me to go and like advertise this outside of maybe Twitter, and even there's we don't have like a big following on Twitter, or sorry, X in the first place. We only have one follower there, and I'm pretty sure that one person who followed was my mum. No, it was it was just someone who probably just saw me tweeting about our new Zombicide stuff going on, um and what we have coming up plan. But I'd like to be able to get this to a point where I can do stuff on this channel full time. Because at the moment I am doing this only, very unseriously part time. Obviously, I can't invest all the time and money into it because I'm a permanent part time support worker who's not making absolute bank. I'm struggling some weeks to pay my bills. Um, I'm not able to. I'm not able to spend a lot of money to help, keep the podcast going. This is largely because I already had the necessary equipment on hand, and it's sort of just I love um, just a labor of love for me because I've always loved D&D. I've always loved board games. I've always loved doing this stuff. I love stories in general. I'm in the middle of reading. Obviously, you guys can't see it right now, but I'm in the middle of reading complete works of Sherlock Holmes that I'm absolutely loving it. Um, I'm a big fan of Shakespeare. I'm a big fan of a few select TV shows. I just love, absolutely adore stories in general, and to think that I have people who online who are willing to listen to me absolutely butcher and mangle these stories for the sake of comedy, but still actually get some enjoyment out of it is fantastic. You know, it genuinely brings a smile to my face, and the thought of actually being able to tell stories full time is is a massive dream of mine. I have written a novel. Um, I have written a full length novel. I think it's going through a second draft still at the most, and that the overall number might go up and down, but it's currently sitting at about 620 something pages, and I've tried sending it off to so many sort of different publishers, and I've only heard back from one of saying that it wouldn't fit their catalog, and that's absolutely fair. I have no idea. I haven't gotten it like anyone else to read it at the moment. I probably should, so I don't know if it's good. I don't know if it's bad. I don't know if it's like appalling. I don't know if it's going to be the next masterpiece of Australia. But I would love to be able to do something, just to be able to do the podcast full time. Um, could you imagine a future where on this podcast, we do move to a series where we can actually watch us with miniatures in the field, where I'm able to tell completely original stories rather than going off to modules. Which, going off to modules isn't the worst thing in the world. I can absolutely imagine a D&D that's worse just by not having any of those storybooks to take advantage of. But yeah, there's just so much I want to do for the channel. It's just really hard when I don't have the time nor the resources to sort of be able to enact those goals. That's why this is a podcast in the first place, is because I do have a camera, and of course, I do want to keep this sort of not really distant, but um, while I am sort of still relying on my position, I do want to keep some form of privacy. Same with my friends and my family as well. But this is why this is a podcast in the first place. Um, is because we have a camera, but it's low quality. It's not good. And there's the position of awkwardness as well, where yeah, I can imagine that it works for other content creators who can sort of film board games or film all this stuff. And I see it all the time online, but I just don't have the resources or the skills to be able to record an episode of Zombicide and then edit it in a way, to try and trim down the fat and try and make it a bit more exciting. Um, because I'm just not at that position yet. And even then, I still like how we are still finding our feet with this. Even the last few episodes, Jasmine has doxed us not once but twice in the past few recordings. And when people are talking about their moves online, they're saying I'm going to do this, then this, then this. But it's all about making those mistakes. It's all about going through and doing that on the podcast, and because I believe it brings that air of sort of of imperfection, and not to sound like a bit of a hack fraud here, but to me, imperfection is perfection. I love the fact that we make mistakes. I love the fact that we're a bit edgy and possibly cringe. Probably a lot more cringe than I give it credit for. I like the fact that not everything that we put out is absolutely golden material. If people want golden, consistent, D&D storytelling, they've got other channels, they've got other people that they can go through to watch that sort of stuff. But here on Adventurers on the Multiverse, we have us. We have just a group of friends who just get together, just dick around playing, D&D and board games for a few hours a night. Like, it's not always consistent, but I'm hoping that at the very least, it's always fun. But in the future, everything's still up in the air. For Dungeons of Dragonheim, obviously when that one, um, um, sorry, excuse me, I'm having a blonde moment. Um, when Dungeons of Dragonheim finishes, I have no plans to continue like a series after that. Um, I do want to keep doing D&D. I just don't know what I'm going to do to sort of Um, well, for content afterwards. I don't know if I'm even going to be still DMing, in all honesty. Um, I've been feeling a little bit burnt out of D&D after running it consistently for the better part of maybe about something like 3-4 years now. And I do love D&D. I have lots of love for it in the stories that I've told. Um, and the idea that I'm going to novelize like 2 campaigns, possibly more in the future, but more on that probably a bit later. Um, but I've been running the same system for about 3 or 4 years now, and I'm starting to feel like I'm hitting sort of a bit of a creative um wall at the moment. If that's the right word. Like, I do love D&D. I do want to keep playing D&D. I just want to run something other than D&D. Um, I do have the source books for so many other TTRPGs. I've got the One Ring in there. I've got Twilight 2000. I've got Call of Cthulhu. I've got Vampire. Um, I got stuff in there to do TTRPGs until the sun blows up. Until, um, you know, and I guess, well, that would sort of be an idea, wouldn't it? If at some point I can, um, not really drop D&D, but just sometimes, maybe run a one shot for Vampire or Cthulhu, and see where that goes. Maybe, use that as a bit of a springboard to run longer form stuff. I have always said that Fall of London, um, even though Fall of London, the Vampire the Masquerade sort of module. So it's like if they made a campaign for Vampire. It's flawed. It is absolutely flawed. But it was so much fun to um it was absolutely so much fun to run while I was doing it. But I can imagine like a future for the channel where, maybe in between session like campaigns of D&D, where instead of jumping straight in from, say, Dungeons of Dragonheim to like Descent into Avernus or something, where, okay, maybe not Descent into Avernus. I think that's maybe like above my skill as a DM. But rather than jump straight from campaign to campaign, I can run something in between them. Say, yeah, like a small 1 or 2 episode one shot, just to sort of help bridge the gap, give something a bit new, give you guys, something to look forward to. In fact, I've got one of those. I've got a few books I could probably look up for Call of Cthulhu. I did try doing a Wild West one a long time ago. It would have been well over a year ago now, and I remember we did get quite far into it. People really liked it. But the group sort of just fell apart after that one session, just because people just didn't have time. Um, but if that once again, if that's something people would like to see, I would love to be able to do stuff like that. Um, the same goes for Vampire. Nothing. Both of these have capable anthology books. Vampire even has like a few expansions, or rather spin-offs, that we can run, like Hunter the Reckoning and Werewolf the Apocalypse, that we can run in their places as well. The whole smorgasbord of story ideas to go from these are just ripe for the picking. And I know that the people behind Vampire, I forget what they're called, but they actually have a podcast on their channel as well that I recommend checking out. Um, it's very well done. The person who runs it is actually pretty, I don't want to say creepy looking, because that'll it sounds a bit rude, but you look at him and you just know that they've cast a perfect guy to um to run those games. Um, for the legacy board games, um, once again, I'm still massively up in the air about it. I do see the appeal of having something secondary to Dungeons and Dragonheim, where it's to help. The main reason why that board game night was created in the first place was because we had that dead space in between weeks, where Dungeons and Dragonheim would go out, and then there'll be a dead week where nothing was going out, and then the week after would be DoD, and then the week after that there's gonna be nothing again. And it was even a time when I was actually going to give away my legacy board games because, oh my god, excuse me. It was even a time when I was going to give away my legacy board games just because I didn't play with them. I didn't use them. I think I cracked open my Pandemic Legacy season one once and wrote names on them before we actually played something, but we didn't really get insofar as actually playing the game before that group fell apart. That's a whole other story for another day. But yeah, that's the whole reason why I saw Legacy Space was built for the channel is because we just had that dead space in between DoD recordings where we could just sit down for one or two times a night and just play Pandemic. And I think that's probably been a real godsend for the channel. I don't think I would have lasted nearly as long if we didn't do Pandemic Legacy because, like I said, I am getting burnt out of Dungeons and Dragons, and I am trying to fix that. But being able to play Pandemic Legacy, to be quite honest, I look forward to running Pandemic Legacy a lot more than I like DoD. I do like running DoD, but knowing that I get to sit down and play Pandemic for a few times a week just makes my mood so much better. So um, once we do finish recording Pandemic Legacy, um, once we do finish recording the first season of Pandemic Legacy, I'm not 100% sure if we're going to continue this sort of legacy stuff. I guess you'll know because either what I'll do is that we'll finish recording season one, which we're still a little bit of ways off. We've still got like a third of the game left to go. Um, but we'll finish recording Pandemic Legacy season one, and then I'll move on to something else in the interim. Sorry, I'll move on to something else entirely to sort of help bridge that recording gap. Um, I keep saying I gotta stop doing that. Either finish recording Pandemic Legacy season one, and then find something else to record afterwards. And depending on what we record, we could get away with uh we could get away with recording more of that and then just saving the podcast, like saving the banked episodes we have already and release them in a later date. Or we could do what it was originally planned and move on to another legacy board game and then play that afterwards. And then it might be a good idea once we have like maybe enough banked up episodes to start releasing Pandemic Legacy more regularly, so that way we could start getting to new stuff. There's just throwing us some different ideas in there. Like I'm still not entirely up toward cutting the legacy board game stuff out of the channel entirely. I don't think that's not something I want to do. I would love to keep recording, but if there's something that we could do instead that'll bring more attention to the channel, I would rather do that a little bit more. And if there is something that we can do, yeah, I'd love to hear it. I was tinkering actually. This is sort of a side note onto this. I was tinkering with sort of doing like a magic night where we get together, we just play Magic the Gathering for a game. But the problem with that one is that Magic is such a visual, not really like a visually uh like not much of a visual game, but it helps when you can actually see the cards and visualize the cards. It's one thing, it's like Pandemic Legacy, the same problem with that, whereby people be talking to each other, they'll say that we'll be attacking with each other, but people won't remember to say what's on the cards to help remind the audience. Which I believe we should be able to do Magic Nights. I think it'd be really cool to do Magic, or as I sort of coined like a sort of a group thing called Tragic the Slathering, because I thought that was a bit funny. Um, so we could also do Tragic Nights on those Thursdays to sort of help placate the recordings. Um, but I guess that sort of does tie back in with Zombicide as well. So Betrayal D&D, I have another episode of that banked up in case, you know, become me for Dungeons of Drakenheim for a while. And so rather than forcing something or trying to haphazardly put something together again, I could just put up an episode of Betrayal D&D instead of this place to give us a little bit more time. Zombicide was originally meant to be that for Pandemic Legacy, but I think it was because we just had so many episodes of that banked up at one point. I think we had like about the same amount as we do for Dungeons Dragonheim now. And the thing with Betrayal D&D is that we don't get a lot of chances to record that. So whatever we do have is used sparingly. It's going to be used to sort of help bank things up. That was going to be the same case with Zombicide, but because the things are shorter and because we just have so many episodes of Pandemic Legacy already banked up anyway, it didn't really make a lot of sense to sort of hold on to those recordings and then a few weeks down the line we might need to I might not be ready to upload a Pandemic Legacy episode yet because maybe it's not edited yet, but there just became so many of them. I was just like, let's go for a bit of a gamble and release this alongside a video. And it turned out, I think that first Zombicide podcast episode 0, that ended up being, I think, our best performing episode on the channel ever. And I was not ready for that. That sort of actually blindsided me a little bit because I did not expect, us sort of um I did not expect it to be the sort of view machine that it turned out to be. And then the next episode after that didn't do as well, but it still did reasonably well. And the views have started tapering off, but I like the idea now where Pandemic Legacy sort of started off as a sort of thing to help bridge the Zombicide just started off being recorded as something to help bridge the gap between Pandemic Legacy episodes, but it ended up becoming its own sort of popular thing on the channel anyway. So more Zombicide, I think, will be on the way. I don't think Zombicide's future is going to be going away. Only problem with that I can see is that we have regular Dungeons of Dragonheim and we have regular Pandemic Legacy recording schedules. That's the Wednesdays and Thursdays. I did spitball the idea of having a regular recording day for Zombicide, like on the Monday or Tuesday. But I think at that point it's going to start becoming a bit tiresome for people to attend these podcast recordings not once, not twice, but 3 times a week on top of other, commitments. I have had people say that they would be keen, and I would be keen as well. But it's something that I think I want to sort of try and manage for everybody, is that create a burnout, because we all say yes to it right now, but imagine, sorry, another car going by. Imagine a sort of future where we all sit down and we go to record, but we just don't really feel it. We're just in a mood to just not play, which I guess we did have record 3 episodes of Pandemic Legacy one night. Usually we only record 2, and Liam pointed out that by the time the second episode is recorded that night, people start getting a little bit antsy. By the time we recorded the third episode of Pandemic Legacy. That night, I could really tell. Sorry, I think I can smell smoke. I can't tell. But yeah, by the time I got to that third episode of recording, I think I could tell that people were getting a little bit tired. I know for sure I was feeling, I did feel a little bit more energetic going to that third recording for some reason. I think I was just a bit dumbfounded by the fact that, well, I'm not really at liberty to say Dr. Freeman. Um, I don't know. I just felt like a bit more energetic going to that third episode for some reason. Maybe it's because we just um maybe just felt like that thing of electricity or something. I couldn't really understand it, but Liam was right. By the time that second episode was banked, I sort of did want to go home already. But I wanted to just record three just to see how it would go, just sort of push through it. And I don't regret it. I just think that in future, I think I'll probably just stick recording two episodes of that a night rather than three. Um, and that raises even more questions where if we set a recording, like a regular recording date for Zombicide on say the Monday, and then we do another one for Magic the Gathering on Tuesday, to do, I don't know if could do like regular Magic nights, because how would that fit in with the podcast? Would that be going out once a week um with anything else in particular? Would that sort of replace Zombicide on a sort of fortnightly basis? Because we have those two main standards, right? We have Dungeons of Dragonheim, and we have Pandemic Legacy, and we sort of have we have Betrayal D&D to sort of help bridge the gaps for DoD when needed. The Zombicide was designed for Pandemic Legacy, but was Pandemic Legacy was so ahead of that anyway, it doesn't really matter. Where would Magic where would Magic the Gathering um come in on the podcast? Would that be because we have the fortnightly DoD, fortnightly Pandemic Legacy, weekly Zombicide. Would that also be a weekly thing? Would we be meeting together weekly to put out something that will be going out weekly? And if we miss something, would that just not be anything to go out in its place? Would people be okay with sitting down for a 2-3 hour game that is notoriously tiring and can really kill people mood and enthusiasm? um would it be something that we could like just upload maybe once a month, like a monthly Magic thing? Could it take place as seasonal? I don't really know. Same with Civilization. I did toy with having a monthly Civilization game, but would that go? It's just the same thing for just uploading. It just gets a bit awkward when it feels like I'm trying to pump out so much content at once when I'm trying to keep it limited to just 2 videos a week for you guys. So that way, there is a steady stream of content, but we do have stuff banked if at some point we do need that extra time to record, or something does happen behind the scenes. Um, Some of you may have noticed that Karina and Riley aren't going to be in some of the latest DoD episodes. They probably haven't been in DoD for a little while. Riley has had some things going up with, of course, education, and Karina's, personal life is really busy. And um, there is no hard feelings towards either of them. For any of that, I've always said that D&D is to come second to these things. I just let them know that I'm going to find, um, while they're unable to attend regularly, I have let them know that I'm going to find a replacement for them, and that they're more than welcome to come back when things start slowing down for them. I just thought it was unfair to feel like I was trying to force them between picking, doing D&D, or picking between their personal lives. which is why I invited Jasmine. Jasmine was actually recording Pandemic Legacy with us for like weeks, maybe even months before she came around to the um, before Dungeon Dragonheim. In fact, by the time this goes up, I'm not too sure if she has actually joined it yet in on the channel. But that's where they've gone, and that's where Jasmine fits in. I did make note of this to Reichland a little while ago when we were talking about this. That it does feel a little incestuous almost to have just that sort of small group of people to sort of always pick and choose from. Whether it be for Zombicide or Pandemic Legacy or Deity. But he also, made a pretty good counterpoint and said that, at the beginning, while we only have the small handful of people, um, it is going to seem incestuous because it's not as if we have a lot of other choices to begin with anyway. We don't live in a large city. It's not as if I have an infinite amount of friends to draw from to be able to record these. When I boot Karina and Riley, it's not as if I have two people already lined up waiting. It's very much a um once they're gone, it's hard to find replacements. Which it's not the worst thing in the world because I am incredibly grateful for the group that we have, and I'm incredibly grateful that people have opted to put their hands up to spend their evenings on a Wednesday and Thursday to record these with us. Um, I just made that point, and Reichland brought up the good counterpoint where he said, well, it is going to feel like that because what else are we going to do? Um, oh shoot, I did have something else I wanted to talk about after this, but I completely forgot what it was. Oh well, it's like they're saved. You can't remember it. Probably wasn't worth. Um, Probably wasn't that important in the first place. Oh, now I'm really trying to remember. Oh well, that's alright. We're probably nearing the end of this recording. Anyway, it's approaching that hour mark, which is what I was hoping to get to. Which, yeah, 52 minutes, and it's been pretty easy. That's the sort of where I'm feeling like we're at with Adventures of the Multiverse at the moment. Um, oh, it was something to do about D&D campaigns, I think, because we were talking about the Zombicide. Um, you know, oh, that's all right. What is there really to talk about? I'm not too sure if there is. The channel, yeah, channel's still going along. Sure, it's still going strongly. Um, Not quite going from strength to strength, as if you've heard our Dungeon Dragonheim recordings, they could be a bit rough at times, especially some of the recent ones. They're a bit of an emotional roller coaster to go on. Um, it did. Oh yeah, I think it was about burnout or something, but no, it wasn't that. Listen, I was thinking about something or other, and I've forgotten what the something is, and now I'm trying to remember. After something I was thinking about when Riley and Karina couldn't make it. Apologies for a bit of dead air. I'm honestly trying to rack my brains to remember what it was that I was trying to talk about. But this has gone right past me, right through me, like my Nana's sticky day pudding. Here in the great state of New South Wales, Um, no, no, that's stupid. I don't know why I said that. Um, but it's that's channel at the moment. We have a few things banked up. We have some ideas for the future. Um, Currently, Dungeons of Drakenheim. I don't think there is like any sort of near end state for that. That module goes up to level 12. I don't know if they start off. I think they all started off at like level 1 or 2, and it takes them through to 12 or 13. And we've finished recording episode 13, and they've only hit level 4 now. So I don't know if that means that there's going to be another like 20, like 30 odd episodes of Dungeons of Dragonheim before we finish that. What would that be? That would be like 60 hours, 60 more hours worth of content to go through before we finish that. That's gonna be wild. Um, when we finish that, there's the idea of going through another D&D thing. There's some, maybe playing a few one shots of a different system to sort of whet appetites of the future and to give me a bit more time to prepare something for the new. There's Zombicide, which is, I think, is still going from strength to strength. I think there's been some really strong recordings for that one, especially the last two, the feature length ones there. um I think they're both pretty strong. I can't wait for you guys um to get to that one. And Pandemic Legacy, I guess that's the only real one where I'm sort of a bit more up and down about, because I could um I could have something else in its place, but we could swap that out for Magic if we if we really wanted to. The problem with that is that Magic has longer recording sessions than for sure than what Pandemic would. Because at least with Pandemic, we could wrap the thing up in about 1 to 2 hours and then move on to the next one. With Magic the Gathering, it could take up towards like 2 or 3 hours. So we'd only be recording once a week, and that would mean that there would be no time to have backups. Which we'll figure something out. We could do a regular board games night. We could do a card games night. Um, we can, I don't know, do all this sort of stuff. If there is stuff that you'd like to see in the future, please, please, please do let me know. I would absolutely love to know what people would like to see on the channel. We do have some things planned for the future. Obviously, I did mention that we have our Christmas and New Year's stuff. I am toying with the idea of maybe doing like a 6-month anniversary special, but I think that might be a bit too self-masturbatory because, oh, I know what I want to talk. I remember what I want to talk about now. But I think I want to be too masturbatory um, to do that, because we already do the anniversaries every 10 videos to sort of catch things up on a channel anyway. And that neatly transitions us to that subject. So the thing with recording and uploading Zombicide on the same week as everything else is the fact that it could very quickly double, like halves the time needed between these anniversary specials, which is why I'm recording this now. So that way, um, when it goes up, not next week, but the week after, it's already done and it's already recorded. I don't have to worry about it. But the problem with having Zombicide on is that we went from having to record, one of these every 2.5 months, very roughly, maybe close to like 2 months, 2 to 2.5 months, to now need to record one, two, yeah, basically like every month, because we went from uploading, once a week, which would be 10 weeks, that's 2.5 months, to 2 times a week. That is just over a month. That's 5 weeks. um So I don't know if we're going to be putting more of these out in the future. I don't know if I'll call this one the 30th one, and then we get to sort of fast forward the 40th and then go straight towards the 50th. By the time that one goes out, I think there would be, because this is going up not next week, then the week after, and then we have to wait for the 50th. That's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Oh no, that's not until well after Christmas at this point. I'll probably still record like a little Yuletide special, just for myself and upload that by Sloan. So just to wish you guys a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Um, but I guess that's all I really wanted to talk about. I did cover a fair few topics. Sorry if I, talked over myself a little bit about this and repeated some concepts, but I thought this was relatively okay. Just sort of me just having a schizophrenic tangent as I talk amongst myself for a little while. Feels like I'm wearing nothing at all. Nothing at all. I'm not recording this naked, by the way. Um, Lots of life stuff going on behind the moment as well, behind the scenes, but that's something that will probably get brought up later on. Oh, there was another topic I want to talk about before I looked off as well. So, um, the problem with recording some of these in the future as well, not only do we have like the doubled release times, but there's also the fact that um, when we record these, as I may notice with the Pandemic Legacy, some of these might not be recorded, like be uploaded to channels for like up to months afterwards. Like I said with Pandemic Legacy, some of them might not be going up until like at least 5 to 6 months after we finish recording them. Um, I know, sorry, that's a lie because it might not for that one might be about 3 to 4 months. I think I said. So that means that we're recording this stuff now, and then we're going to be recording stuff in the future. But the stuff that gets recorded in the future and uploaded like relatively close, and then it's also going to be coincided with stuff that we recorded like early, like in this year, which is crazy to think about. Um, so I would maybe in the future, maybe if I get a bit bored or something, and I just need like a personal um challenge to set myself, what I could do is that I could go through all of these videos and try to make like a chronological playlist where you can listen to stuff as we record it. Um, as sorry, you could listen to the stuff as was recorded. So obviously, you jump back and forth between the stuff a fair bit. Um, but I think that would be really cool if we did like a chronological upload and then see just how sparse some of these differences could get. Once again, that's a bit hard because not everything that we have recorded even now, um, even stuff that's planned now is not going up. Like I said, we have like backup episodes of Betrayal or D&D that aren't going. We don't know when they're going to be uploaded. At least with Pandemic Legacy, we know when they're going to be uploaded very roughly, because they go up on a fortnightly basis. With those Betrayal D&D stuff, that's only there to help back up in case we run out of backups. So that's going to be a bit hard, but business chop and change is needed, and I think that'd be yeah, I just think that'd be something really like interesting to do. Just record like make a playlist of when all of these were recorded like chronologically, and not when they were uploaded because you know the disparity between these things are gonna get like a lot larger as we continue on. It's, yeah. There's something else to keep in mind for. It's gonna be like a bit of running gag, sort of time dilation. I'm probably gonna call in the future to do with the channel where I've already talked your ears off about it already. But in any case, anyways, anywho's, this has been the 30th anniversary special. I hope you all truly um truly from the bottom of my heart I hope you all have enjoyed this one. I know it's a bit lackluster probably, but you know, it's something. It gives a little bit of a brief update on the channel. There's not really me playing games, but you know, I hope that you know you got something out of this, and maybe you'll look forward a bit more to the future already, especially the seasonal uploads, which are um going to be uploaded very, very soon. But in any case, thank you all so much for listening, and I'll see you all in the next video.